Hey folks, we are out today at a very interesting, different type of restaurant. It's called Wild Game. I'll get into that. We'll enjoy a little lunch here. But while we were here, I received a very interesting message from a friend, and it was pertaining to a tiny house, a very small house that she's built for a total of right around $4,000 US. So in this episode, we'll have to answer the question, what kind of house do you get? What would that look like for only $4,000?
Is that right? Well, we're out today. I just got a message from a good friend, and I know she's had a piece of land in Rayong here, not the other side of Rayong, actually a little closer to Pattaya, but I know she's had a little piece of land down here, and she's built a tiny, small, very cheap house on it. We're going to go look at that tomorrow. She's going to have us over and we'll see what it is. I can't wait to show you that. Can't wait to see it for myself, to be honest. We'll take care of that tomorrow because we've got to go to Pattaya anyway for Lan's final dental appointment with her crowns and all that. But today we're out at a place called Ab Aroy. What it really means in English is secretly delicious wild food. Secretly delicious wild food. These wild food restaurants are around. You can find them. And there's one in Pattaya, I believe, at least one. Probably more. I went to one about 3 or 4 years ago, I think, up in Chonburi. But these kind of places, they don't make a morning trip to Macro for groceries. It's wild food. So, for example, they would substitute wild boar for pork. I think that's a very good example. They have vendors. Since we were sitting here, a local fisherman pulled up with the catch of the day. So they'll buy the fish from fishermen. Things like that. I think they also even grow a lot of the herbs, veg, that kind of thing that grow right here, different leaves. They're up here picking leaves and all kind of stuff. And they're back there stewing up all this stuff. Jungle curries is a lot of what they make. I'll show you what we get. We ordered about 3 or 4 different wild food type dishes, but they're good. You got to be a little bit careful. My experience at these places is it comes very spicy. I don't know if that's to kill the gamey flavor. If there is a gamey flavor, I'm not sure, but it just seems like I like the spice, but at these places it's up another notch, I believe. So anyway, we're only about 10 minutes from home. A little bit of a funny story. This isn't that hard to find, but I'd never been here before, and I just wanted to make sure I check the maps before I left, so it's in my head before I get on the bike and all that. And it said, okay, they're open. It says they're open, and here's your directions. When I get here, my maps were still open, and I looked at it. Now it says busier than normal, busier than usual. Well, the only thing that changed, there was one table sitting here that looked like they were just finishing eating. So they had to have already been seated when I left home. It only was a 10-minute drive. Then Lon and I show up. Now there's 2 more cell phones here. I think that busier than normal gauges how many cell phone pings or whatever they're getting from the location as compared to normal. Kind of funny, so I think Lon and I made the difference and pushed it up busier than normal. Anyway, I'm not sure how that works, but I suspect because that's how it seemed today anyway. Anyway, we'll take a look and see what we're getting. And tomorrow, we'll go up, get Lon's final dental appointment and check out this tiny house.
All right, food didn't take long. Our first dish here, pork, but I'm here again, I believe wild boar actually in both these dishes. I think almost in all the dishes we got actually. One with vegetable and then a fried rice. I believe that had the pork in it as well. And then look at this, check out this big flaming pot here. You might think that that's a tom yum or something like that, but you'd be wrong. That is, I guess for lack of a better word, steamed egg. That whole thing is full of steamed egg, also mixed with the pork and garlic and vegetables and all kind of stuff. We had a jungle curry there on the side, but this egg dish was interesting. I'm not sure I've ever had that before, so I'll go ahead and give that a try. All fresh herbs and everything here again, sourced right here on the property. So not too bad. This is good once in a while. I like these wild restaurants, but wouldn't eat it every day. But anyway, we have other business to attend to, so let's get on down the road. We've got to make a trip to Ban Chung.
So, the answer to the question, what does $4,000 buy you for a house here? Well, it's right behind me. That's it. We're in Ban Chang. Ban Chang, this is the other side of Rayong. This is about 40 minutes from where I live. It's actually also about 40 minutes from Pattaya, but I was just telling my buddy, I think you can get here quicker with the new motorway from Pattaya than you can from my house, because I'm on Sukhumvit Road with the red lights through Rayong and Maptaput and all that. But anyway, Ban Chang is a nice little town here, kind of made famous by Utapao Airport. We might be there next week, matter of fact. It's a little bit known as an expat area. 30 years ago plus, when I would come and I would walk around Rayong, and I would be out at the beach during the day, maybe in the evenings, go stroll around Rayong or whatever, people always saw me and said, "Oh, are you from Ban Chang? You live in Ban Chang?" I said, "No, I'm down by the beach," because by rule, if they saw a foreigner, they would associate with them living in Ban Chang, because that's kind of where a lot of foreigners lived due to the airport and so forth. But anyway, this is a small piece of property, about 80 feet long, about 40 feet wide, I guess. That's approximation. It's a piece of land my friend bought years ago, and she just sat on it basically. But she had a reason to build this in the last couple of years. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But first, let's look at the place. She bought a sea container and had it turned into a bedroom. There's air conditioning in there. It's not very big, but it's a bedroom. The bathroom is separate from that, but it's like a whole little complex right there. You got the air-conditioned bedroom. Of course, that's where you sleep or take your afternoon siesta or whatever. Big bathroom / laundry room. There's a washing machine in there. Shower, toilet. So in the middle of the night, you'd have to walk out of the little house and around to the bathroom. But I've been to places like that before, where the bathroom is actually outside of the sleeping quarters. That's air-conditioned. I wouldn't say it's common, but it's definitely not odd. And then there's a cooking area. It's like a whole little complex, a little patio, front and back. And then I guess the party piece is up on the roof, all covered, and a hammock. So it's a very small house, but I think comfortable. Most of your living would be outside anyway. It's outside living here. So you're cooking outside, you're probably eating outside, there's fans, you're relaxing. Well, of course, you sleep inside in the air condition. Once you're in that sea container that's all been fitted up with walls and insulation and all that, doesn't matter where you are, you're in a bedroom, as far as you know. For the construction-wise, not the land, construction-wise, about $4,500 for everything, the roofs, the awnings, the sea container, everything. I think just the sea container, she said, was 8,000 baht. So that's, I don't know, would you call it $250 to $300 for the sea container, but it's kind of like a half of a sea container. It's not a full-blown 52 or 48 feet long, or whatever the standard size is. It looks like about half that. But there's everything you'd have at a house there. So there's water, there's electricity. They do have solar as a little auxiliary. A lot of people have that here to run night lights and things like that. It charges during the day. It's like all self-contained solar panel with a battery. And at night, the light comes on. So they have a couple of those. We were actually thinking about getting one of those as well. It's a good way to light up at night. It doesn't cost you any electricity. The front of the house, though, has a big spot. Like the first half, the house is all smushed all the way to the back of the property, like the last 40 feet. And the first 40 feet, it's all open land for gardens. She's got a beautiful garden, lime trees, papaya trees, etc. So all in. The reason she has this, she has a whole house up in Pattaya and everything. She doesn't really live here. But what she does, she might spend more time here than at her real residence, because her kids go to school down here. So instead of bringing them down to Ban Chang, then driving back to Pattaya, then going to Ban Chang to pick them up, that's about 35, 45 minutes each way, even with the new motorway. She's built this, and she kind of camps out here during the day. So drops them off at school, up the road. She comes here, she has air conditioning, she has a roof overhead, can cook, can do whatever, lounge around. When school's up, she goes and picks them up. So that's kind of the purpose why she built this. But could you live here? Sure. So it's kind of an out-of-the-box living arrangement. All right, we'll see what they put together food-wise here. But before we came here today, we were in Pattaya, and Lan got her final had her final dental appointment. So we'll go over that real quick. She's still a little bit numb even as we're here today at the tiny house. Finally, the last visit. I took a look at the teeth. He's got all the 6 choppers lined up that he's custom made or whatever. I don't know. She's getting them installed today. I think I'm gonna go down the street and get a haircut, and we'll be back and pick her up when it's done. All right, haircut done. She should be about done. They said it was only gonna take a half hour today. We'll go down and see. I guess it's kind of funny. She could get 6 new teeth put in, same time I get a haircut.
So not quite a half hour. I got back, she was still in the chair, but I think still short of an hour today. She had the temporary ones removed, the permanent ones put in. Here again, I've been over this before in the previous episodes, but all in 27,000 baht. Now, a lot of people ask about implants and wanted to know what would that cost. I asked the dentist here, and he told me that he'd have to look at it first, but typically you're looking at right around 30,000 baht, or about a little over $800, I guess that is. Back at the tiny house, we it's grabbed to the rescue here. The girls made some Thai food and everything for them, but for the rest of us foreign folk, we had pizza. There's a nice Pizza Hut right in Banchang, right on the main drag there, and they delivered. So there you go. All that nice pizza. It looks like the thick crust pizza. I like that. And it came with all the seasonings and ketchup. That's right. I've been over this before, but they put ketchup on pizza here. The locals enjoy ketchup with their pizza. Lots and lots of ketchup. There's the Pizza Hut packs of ketchup. Imagine if they didn't bring that, the people would just be up in arms and complain. They'd probably call in. Anyway, it is what it is. You have your pizza how you like it. I'll have mine as I like. I do not put the ketchup on. But I saw these guys. It looks like they got a little rat trap going on here. They weren't too big. I've seen much bigger ones up country in the rice fields. Anyway, there's a look at a $4,000 tiny house. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Something else next time, but for this one, gotta leave it off right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.